Now coming to the GPIO clock, GPIO part and for its function description, register description. So in GPIO for our STM32F103 we have two registers. We have basically 32-bit data registers and the 32-bit configuration registers that are important for us. In the 32-bit configuration register we will configure our GPIO pins as output or input, and in the data registers we will configure it whether in output when they have to be set as high or low, or in the input register, that is IDR, whether for checking the input state. Okay, when we are using the GPIO peripheral, so first we need to enable its clock. Like as you have seen here in the Cube MX, there are all these are the clock configuration. Now in this, APB2 is used for configuring my GPIO, for providing clock signals to my GPIO peripheral. So I have to make that bit set. GPIO is powered by the APB2. Okay, so APB2 in the enable register, you just have to enable the port of the GPIO which we will be using. As we are going to enable the blink, the onboard LED of the STM32 blue chip, and it is on the port C. So I will be needing to enable my IOPC CN pin to 1 for enabling the clock source. Okay, that is the bit 4, as you can see here, input output port C clock enable. So I have configured it RCC underscore APB2 ENR. This is the name of the register, and equals to with the OR operator. The correspondingly bit, the bit name is RCC underscore APB2 ENR underscore IOPCEN. It's 01UL 4U, that is on the 4th bit it will be set as 1 of the 32 bits. Okay, so that will be my enabling my GPIO clock. And now moving to the GPIO registers. The thing is, now the GPIO configuration registers. Now the configuration register has been divided in two parts. First, for the first 8 bits, okay, 0 to 7, that is for the first 8 pins of my port, that is named as configuration low register, register low, and the configuration register high for configuring my remaining 8 pins, that is from 8 to 15 of my port, correspondingly port. So as I am using the GPIO-C, the port C, that is PC13 is the pin at which my onboard LED lies. So GPIO-C port C and its configuration high register, because my 13th pin I am using, so it will be in the high register, high configuration in. Okay, so and now enabling its mode. Now there are two parts in it. One is the mode and the one is the CNF, which is the configuration. In the mode, I will signify whether my pin is output or input. Correspondingly, I will be in the configuration if it is in output, so it is output open pull, push pull, or alternate push pull or alternate function open drain. If input, then what kind of input will be, that all I have to configure in my GPIO X underscore CRH or CARL register. So that's what I have configured. For now we will be using the general purpose output, and the output mode is max speed 50 Hz, as we have configured our clock at 32 MHz. So we will be using the output mode with 11. So GPIO CRH underscore mode underscore 13 underscore 1. Okay, 13 underscore 1 is corresponding to my mode 13 1th bit, that is 21 bit. Okay, and the mode 13 underscore 0 is correspondingly to the 20th bit. As name suggests, this is 1, this is 0. Mode 13 1, mode 13 0. So I have both have been set as 1, that is output mode max speed 50 Hz. As by default these macro functions have been set as 1. And then in the next line I am configuring with it what kind of output will be, output push pull or the output open drain, and the general purpose output push pull. So for now I will be configuring them as output push pull. Okay, in the output push pull, for configuring them I need to set as this 0 0. So as these bit are being set as configured 1 by default by the function macro definition, as you can see in the macro expansion. So just ORing both of these, CNF 13 underscore 1, CNF 13 underscore 0, that is this value. CNF13 underscore 1, CNF13 underscore 0 with a not operator, so that it makes my all the bits in reverse. All those bits will be which are set as 1 will be set as 0. So now as these both are set as 1, ORing them will make them as 0, and that's what I want for my general purpose push-pull configuration 0 0. Okay, so that's set for configuring it. Now coming to our ODR, which is for output, which will be controlling my output operation. So that's also very much simple. That as there are 0 to 15, each bit is corresponding to each pin of my port. GPIO ODR. ODR is the output data register, and in that I have first enabled that is first set my bit as 1, so that my PC13 will be enabled, and then for loop for delay of 1 second, and then I have again not operator using the not operator, and GPIO underscore ODR 13, that is this bit. This is my onboard LED at which it is located, making it off, and after again a delay of 1 second. So that's all the code which you need. Okay, so I hope you have got it, that how to write the embedded C code. Okay, so you can find this code also in my GitHub. I have link is in description. Now we are just going to build a project, and now it will show you 0 errors and 0 warnings. Okay, so now we are going to upload this code into a microcontroller. For that thing we will be using the STM32Cube programmer. One thing which is important to tell you is there might be some errors which will come here, that your this micro function is not defined, or your header file is not defined. So for that case, just make sure that in the project explorer of your, that you navigate to the project explorer, and of your project all the necessary header files are included, which I have told you. All of these, both of these header files and all the CMSIS core files. Okay, and just check it that you have correctly set your macro functions and the register's name correctly by and you can explore them by just right clicking on them and by in the open declaration. So you will find their whole function macro definitions also, that how they are set and how they are being bit manipulated, left shift and right shift. If you guys don't understand this thing, that how they are being left shift and right shift, mention them in the comment section. If you guys want, I will make a video on that thing, on how to understand these things. Okay, so that's it now, and my Cube programmer is opened. Now let me just connect my STM32 microcontroller and ST-Link. So guys, now connection is very much simple for your STM32 blue chip to your ST-Link V2 programmer. Just connect these CLK, SWDIA ground and 3.3 volt pins which are in the lower pins, okay, of the ST-Link programmer to your STM this blue chip board. Okay, as you can see here, these ground SWCLK, SWIO and 3.3 volt pins. Just connect it, and then when you just power your these, okay, so it will be automatically configured in your STM32Cube programmer in the ST-Link configuration, your serial number. If it not, then just rescan it and select the serial number and then connect it. Okay, once you connect it, then it will be shown that data read successfully. And if you will go to the here memory and file edition, here you can see all the data which is being read from the address, okay, and all such things, all the details. Now you just go to the erasing and programming section, and here browse to the project name, to the workspace, and then to the project name which you have created. I have created by the name embedded C GPIO. So in your project, go to the debug folder and select the binary or ELF, any of these files. Open it and then just start programming. It will be start operation will be done successfully, and you can see here that your LED is blinking successfully. And that's how you have made and flashed your embedded C, your self-made bare metal code, the STM32 microcontrollers via STM32Cube IDE and the STM32Cube programmer. So guys, that's it for now. I hope you all get to know how to write the embedded C code on the STM32 microcontrollers from the scratch, and not only get to know but understand the things that we all need to configure and what all things are there for the clock configuration, for the GPIO configuration, and what all header files and the important things which we need to make our own embedded C code just using the peripheral memory registers and the Cortex essential header files. Okay, so that's it for now guys, and to all the reviewers who are watching the first time of this video of this channel, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to press the notification bell to get notified for the upcoming new videos. You can browse the channel. There are many videos on firmware development covering many things from I2C, SPI, UART communication to many application codes also. Okay, and by the time when I have just shoot this video, at that time these videos I have also made and uploaded the videos on the STM32WB55 in the STM8S microcontrollers, getting started with them via CubeMX. So check out those videos also. Those are very amazing and great to know you about. So that's it now for guys. I will see you in the next videos, and till then stay safe and stay happy. Mention down your any views or any comments in the below comment section.